In this lesson, we're going to talk about multiplying polynomials, and we're going to do this using the FOIL method and the box method. So first, we're going to talk about some vocabulary terms that are important for us to know. Polynomial is a group of terms with variables and exponents. Okay, so we could have just kind of any group of terms thrown together, and we can call that a polynomial. Now, a coefficient is the number in front of the variable, and the variable is whatever our unknown value is, our letter usually. And our variables with these polynomials can have different exponents. And now let's remember that an exponent is we're going to multiply whatever that term is by itself. An exponent is also the little number. So like in this case, if we had 5 raised to the third power, that's not 5 times 3, that's 5 times 5 times 5, 3 times, okay? And so when we're working with these, we're going to be multiplying some variables with exponents. And when we do that, as long as variables have the same base, we can add the exponents. So if we have something like x squared times x3, our bases are the same, we both have x's, so I can make this x to the 2 plus 3, which we know is just 5. Okay, and so today we're going to run into a couple different examples where we have something like 2x times x. And when we multiply these, we're going to multiply the coefficients, right? That's that number in front. 2 times 1 would give me 2. And then we can multiply the variables. I can make both of these have an exponent of 1. So I have x to the 1 plus 1, so this would get me 2x squared. And so there's two different methods that we're going to learn. We have the FOIL method and the box method. Now FOIL is an acronym. It stands for the first terms, then the outside terms, then the inside terms, and then the last terms. So if we have an expression like a plus b times c plus d, we're just going to break this and multiply step by step what we have here. So I can take my first terms, which in this case is my a and my c, multiply those together. Then I'm going to add on, next would be my outside terms, which is a and d here, since both of those are on the outside. So I'd get a times d. Add that on to my inside terms now, which in this case is b and c. So we have b times c, and then I'm going to add that to my last terms, which in this case is b times d. And then we would combine any like terms that we have. And then once we combine those like terms, we can get our answer there. Now the box method is a little more visual way to do this. We're still doing the same thing. I just think it's a little more visual pleasing. So we have a plus b times c plus d. And so what we do is we make this big box, and we're going to have like a section for each of our terms. So I'd make it a plus b and a c plus d. And so then we're just going to multiply whatever matches up in that box. So I'd have a times c, I would have b times c here because b and c meet up. Then I'd have a times d, then I would have b times d, okay? And so what we're doing is we multiply We're going to multiply to get into the box, and then we're going to combine like terms to get out. So when we get out, when we pull all these numbers out of our box, we're going to combine those like terms to get our answer. Now we're going to do two different examples, and we're going to work it both ways, the FOIL method and the box method. So this first example, let's start with FOIL. And so we're going to multiply our first terms, which in this case is 3 times x, and 3 times x. So I've got these ones as exponents, so I can add those to get 3x, and then 1 plus 1 would give me 2. Now I can do my outside terms, which is 3x times 1, which is just going to give me plus 3x. And then I can do my inside terms, which is 2 times x, which is just going to give me 2x. And then my last terms, in this case, is 2 times 1, which will just give me plus 2. And now I've got these like terms here. 3x and 2x are like terms since they both just have an x. So my final answer is going to be 3x squared plus 5x from 3 plus 2, and then plus 2. Now with the box method, we're going to set it up with a 2 by 2 box, since I've got two terms in each polynomial. So I'm going to take 3x plus 2 and put it on top, and x plus 1 and put it down the side here. So now I've got 3x times x, which we said will give us 3x squared. Then I have 2 times x to get plus 2x. Then 3x plus 1 will give me plus 3x. And then 2 times 1 will give me plus 2. So we've multiplied to get in. Now we're going to add and subtract. We're going to combine our like terms to get out. And if we do this correctly, then our like terms will usually be diagonal from each other. So here I see I've again got that 2x and that 3x. So 2 plus 3 is going to give me 5x, which means my answer again is 3x squared plus 5x plus 2. Let's look at a slightly more complex example now. This time we've got a polynomial with 3 terms, a trinomial as we would call it, multiplied to a polynomial with 2 terms, or a binomial as we call it. So FOIL is the same thing. We're just going to take all of these terms and multiply them to everything in the other. We're going to take all of our trinomial and multiply it to everything in our binomial. So first we have 2x squared times x, which is going to give me 2x to the 3 after I add those exponents. Then I've got 2x squared times 2. I can multiply the coefficients this time to get 4x squared. Now I can take my negative 4x and multiply it to my x to get negative 4x squared. And now I can take my negative 4x times my 2 to get negative 8x. And then last I can do my 1 times my x to get x, and my 1 times my 2 to get 2. And now let's circle any like terms that we have. So I've got these 2x squared terms, and I've got these 2x terms. So now 4x minus 4x, that actually just cancels out. But my negative 8x plus x, that's going to give me negative 7x. So when we write our answer, we've got 2x cubed, and then minus 7x from the negative 8x plus the x. And then last I just have this plus 2 at the end. Let's try it with the box method now. And so I'm going to set up my box. This time I'm going to need 3 terms up top though. So I'm going to make my box a little longer this way and split it like this. So I can put 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 on top and x plus 2 down the side. And now let's just start multiplying. 2x squared times x will give me 2x cubed. Then I've got negative 4x times x will give me a negative 4x squared. Then I've got x times 1, which will just give me plus x. Now going down, I've got 2x squared times 2 will give me 4x squared. Then 2 times negative 4x will give me negative 8x. And 2 times 1 will give me 2. And now again, I'm going to look at my diagonals to see if I have any like terms. And I do once again. I've got these x squareds and I've got these x's. And once again, 4x squared minus 4x squared is going to cancel. And I can combine my negative 8x plus my x to get negative 7x. So when I pull everything out, I get 2x cubed minus 7x plus 2. So we see that either of these methods are going to work every single time we do them. So to summarize, today we talked about the FOIL method and the box method. Either one of these are perfect whenever we're trying to multiply two polynomials. And all we're going to do is multiply every term in our first polynomial times every term in our second polynomial. And then once we do that, we look for any like terms that we can combine to simplify our answer. And this has been our lesson over multiplying polynomials. I hope you had as much fun as I did, and I'll see you later.